What's going on, guys? DFS War Strike here, and here I'll be breaking down the Farmers Insurance Open. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know who your favorite golfer is going to be this week. Follow me on Twitter at DFS War Strike. I'll also post a link down below. And also come join our free Discord. We just hang out, make money, mess around with each other. It's a fun time to be in there. I have an article that comes out. It's the lock of the week, my favorite play, my value play of the slate. I will have that out later on tonight as well as my cheat sheet that I will give out as well. That typically just has my key stats and just kind of some basic stats for you guys to go by off how the golfers have recently played or how they've been recently on the course. With that being said, if you're new to the channel, I kind of just start from the top in the 10, 11, 10 plus K range and just work my way down kind of with almost just about every golfer and just let you guys know how I feel about everyone. I still haven't finished all my research, so I'm still kind of just going to go with the flow here, just basic off my cheat sheet and then what I see here. I will have my 3 favorite plays later on tonight. A little early start. They're trying to avoid the Super Bowl, the NFC and the AFC Championship game this Sunday. So they're having a day early start, and then they'll end up finishing Saturday. So with that being said, let's get started. At John Rahm here at the top at 11-2. I don't mind John Rahm. John Rahm's safe. If you want to go Rahm, that's fine. The last 3 years, he's had 7th, 2nd, 5th place finish, so I'm fine with John Rahm if you guys want to go here. I will probably have more shares of Justin Thomas. Justin Thomas is 2nd in approach on my sheet. And then if you look at the last 3 tournaments, most recently the Century since the break, 5th, 5th, and 3rd. He's gotten over 100 fantasy points in 4 straight tournaments. So I do like JT here. If you guys want to go down to him, HIDEKI Matsuyama. I'm okay with it. If you can see the last 2 since the break, he's really excelled. Won the Sony and then tied 13th. I typically fade golfers that are coming off recent wins, so I probably won't have much of Decky. I'd rather pay up and get JT, but I don't mind Decky here. The last 2 years hasn't really had too much success in this tournament, so I will probably stay away. But if you want to go with Decky, I'm all for it. DJ here. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna have much of DJ going into this. Not much recent history at the course. He missed a cut in 2017. The stats aren't up to par for me at his price tag at 10K. He will be low owned. That's the great thing. If you do want to go with DJ, you can. I'm kind of optimistic. I think he's more of a GPP play than anything out of that still. I mean, JT's probably still my favorite. Xander Schauffele, I'm all for it. Yeah, he got 2nd here last year. At the Century, placed 12th. You can see he's kind of safe to make the cut line. I do like Xander if you wanted to go over here. I still think JT is probably the best play here, but if you have to drop down a little bit in the pricing for $800, you can go here. Daniel Berger is somebody who I'm not too high on. I think when I saw, let me look at cheat sheet real quick. Yeah, he's missed 2 cuts in 2019, 2017. Now he is 1st in approach, which is going to be one of my key stats going into this week. You see at Century, he did get 5th. But I don't know. At 10K, I think it's kind of risky. He would probably be my first GPP play that I would have outside of DJ. But other than that, I think JT, Rahm, and probably Xander is probably my top 3 for the 10K plus range. Dropping down to 9K, we start with Bryson. Bryson, I think, is going to be a decent play here. The key stats kind of are off. I wouldn't play him in cash. Key stats are off. He's missed a cut. Hasn't been here since 18. But if you see at the Century, he was 25th, but he had 102 fantasy points, which is very high. You see he's had 23 birdies in each of his last 2 tournaments. So I do like Bryson for GPP for fantasy points, but I'm not expecting a win from him in this tournament. Dropping down, Sam Burns. Sam Burns, I think, is going to be decent. Let's see what he did at the Century. Century had 102. You look at the 4 of the last 5 tournaments he's played on DraftKings, he's had over 100 fantasy points. I like that a lot. He had tied 7th for 74. That's good. Let's look at his recents. On approach, he's 14th, and then around the green, which is another key stat I'll have, he's 34th. 18th here last year, so I'm really not too bad on Sam Burns. I think Sam Burns is a decent play here if you guys want to go to him at 9-7. The last couple tournaments, he's really turning it on, over 100 points. That's awesome. Brooksy. So we get to Brooksy here. You look at Century, had 105 as he tied for 28. His played here last year, missed a cut, and then played in 2017, missed a cut. So that kind of pushes me away from Brooksy just immediately off the bat. He's kind of up and down. I mean, you can see here tied 28th, 9th, but then a cut, and then tied 38th. I don't know. I mean, I think he has to get top 10 to exceed his value at least, and I'm not seeing that recently. And only one game over 100 fantasy points, which I mean was recent, but I want to see more consistency before I go down to Brooks Koepka. Scotty Scheffler. Scotty, the American Express 25th, and then that's his first game since the break. He had 97. Let's see his recent play here. Missed the cut the last 2 years. That's probably something I'll be off. If maybe it's just a course thing, but you see here recently the last 5, he's done okay. But at this range, I'm shooting for people to try to get over 100. And then him missing the cut the last 2 years as well, it's probably not somebody I'm going to be intrigued by. And then we'll drop down to Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth played at the Century, tied 21st, had 100 fantasy points at the CJ Cup as well. And then we'll get down to his recent performance. He's 6th around the green on the rankings, which is great. Last year missed a cut, 55th, 35th. Again, that pushes me away. I'm not too big on it. I don't think that 9,400 is really worth that risk. If he can get over 100 fantasy points, then yeah, he's going to pretty much hit his value. And I think that's great. But I think top 21 right there, if he gets 21st, to me, I think it's okay if he gets the birdies that he's hitting, but I don't think it's worth the value if he doesn't get 100 points. SUNGJAE kind of had disappointment at the Sony and then came back last weekend, was a good GPP play. I wasn't off SUNGJAE. I thought SUNGJAE was a good play. To see what he did there, tied 11th, I think that's pretty solid. And then looking at his recent histories, 32nd, 36th, 52nd. So he's made the cut 3 straight years, 27th on the approach, 13th around the green in my rankings. So I think SUNGJAE is a decent play here. Same thing with Spieth though. If he can get close to 100, I think he's going to hit his value, and I think that's great. As you see here, he can do it. Tied 11th, tied 8th, tied 9th. I mean, 4 out of the 5 have been spectacular top 20 finishes. Sony, I kind of, I'm not really worried about it. I just think it was just one of those tournaments where nothing could go right for him. Will Zalatoris, he finished 7th here last year. He got tied for 6th at the American Express, which was awesome. The round 2 was huge for him. As you see, he shot 61 with 20 birdies, 108 fantasy points. That's very impressive. I like Will Zalatoris in this tournament, especially since he got a 7th place finish. He's 6th on the approach and then 51st around the green. But I do think Willie is a great play here if you guys want to go to him at 9-2. He's probably my favorite play so far in the 9K range. Tony Finau, safe play. The American Express wasn't too bad, kind of got better as the tournament was going on. As you see, he shot a 72 in round 1. But back-to-back tournaments with 20 plus birdies, I like that a lot. 85, 108, 93, it's just one shy to keep that streak going. And then if you look here, let's see, 2nd, 6th, 13th, 6th, 4th. That's amazing. I think a lot of it has to do with his putting. He puts very well at this course, so I think I'll have a lot of Tony Finau. I think he will be chalk, so mainly cash, but I like Tony. So now, Leishman. Let's see. So he's had 2 tournaments to start the month of January off, tied 36th, tied 10th, which is great. Let's see, shot under 70 and 8 straight rounds, 114, 87 fantasy points. I like that a lot. 27 birdies at Century is what really stands out to me. And then he did win in 2020, 18th finish last year, 43, 8th, and 20th the last 5 years. So that is awesome. I do like Leishman as well. I would rather pay up for Tony if I can, which is only what, $100 more. So it shouldn't be an issue. I would rather get Tony here. But if you compare both of them up, I do like that, but that's probably going to take JT or somebody towards the top off for you. But let's go down. Gooch. Everybody was riding Gooch last weekend, but I just wasn't. I wasn't feeling Gooch. On DraftKings more specifically, I wasn't. I kind of went for him in cash and FanDuel, but it didn't pan out. I'm off Gooch again. I don't think he's a good play. As you can see here, 48th and 36th the last 2 years, which to me wouldn't be good enough at that price range. He did get a 3rd place finish 3 years ago, but maybe it was just a fluke. Maybe it's just an off week. Maybe it was just one of those jinx things where the ownership was so high that it dropped it down. But I'm probably not going to play Gooch this weekend. I think we can find better plays that are cheaper. Let's see. Corey Connors next. See here to start the month of January, he missed a cut last week or at the Express, and then the Sony, he was 11th, which is good. I like that. And then let's look at his recent play, 37th here, 10th on the approach, which is nice, but then it's around the greens, 128. If you have to, honestly, I'd rather go up and get Gooch than Corey Connors, mainly because the stats kind of fits Taylor here, but Corey's somebody I'm probably not going to be too high on. If I have any ownership drawn towards him. Okay, let's see if I can click out of this. There we go. Sorry about that. Patrick Reed, the defending champion. You see the last couple tournaments, American Express, Century, 55th, tied 15th. He is a birdie machine. You see the last 3, 20, 27, 18, but he's also a bogey machine, 4, 5, 5. So I don't know. I avoid previous winners just mainly because 1, it's going to be chalk, and 2, how likely is it that they're going to win back-to-back in the tournaments? So I'm probably not going to have much of Patrick Reed, just basically off a strategy standpoint. It's not anything that I don't like him or anything like that, but I'm probably going to hang off of him. Matthew Wolff, a lot of people were on him as well for GPP purposes, but he disappointed everyone. Missed a cut here last year. I'm not really high on Matthew Wolff. I think he's more of GPP if you want to take that risk just because he's going to have low ownership. But usually I'm not really on Wolff unless he's on a streak. Max HOMA finished here 18th and 9th the last 2 years. You see there at the Century, he played well too to start the month of January, had 111 fantasy points. Max HOMA is probably my favorite play right now in the 8K range, just based off what I'm seeing. And then we'll go down and let's see, 40th, 17th to start January, 87, 97. And then let's see what Christian has done. No history the last 5 years, 49th and 32nd so far are my 2 main key stats. So Christian you could go here. I think that's a GPP play, decent ownership at 8K. If he gets to 97, 87 fantasy points like he's done the 2 tournaments in January, I like that. I wouldn't mind going against that. And then Maverick McNeely, 91 fantasy points at the Sony. And then we haven't seen him since November. Missed a cut last year. I'd rather pay up for Christian and get Christian, and we'll probably find better plays in the lower 7K, low 8K, which is Ryan Palmer. Ryan Palmer seems to be solid right here. Let's look at his second here last year, 21st, 13th, second. So I mean, I feel like you got to put Palmer in here too, especially in cash. I think that's a solid play. You see 22 birdies last weekend. Seemed fine off the break, 104 fantasy points. If he hits that at 8,100, that's huge value. So I do like Palmer as well going into this. And then Justin Rose, we'll skip down to him as we hit the 7K range now. Justin Rose at the American Express, 87 fantasy points. Not bad, 22 birdies. His recent appearance didn't play last year. The year before he missed a cut, and then he won in 2019, and then 8th and 4th. So I don't know if it's just something that he's gone off of the last couple years, or maybe he's going to bounce back in this weekend. But if you're going to go GPP, hope for the 3 finishes where he had first, 8th, and 4th. It's really all you can do if you're going to go there. I mean, if he gets in the 80s like he's showing here, then I mean, he's completely fine. I think that hits his value. Then Keegan Bradley. See, Bradley had 100 points at the Sony Open, which is great. I don't mind that at all. Let's see what his recent play is. 16th, 35th, 5th, and 4th. Did not play last year. 4th on the approach, 37th around the green. I do like Keegan Bradley. I think that's a solid play at 7K. Probably like Christian a little more if you can pay up for that, but Keegan Bradley I think is a solid outing here if you guys want to go with him. See Billy here, the last couple tournaments you see here at the Sony and Centuries had good finishes. Only shot over 70 once. I like that. 20 birdies, 18 birdies, 82.5, 101.5. And then let's look at Billy's history. Missed a cut last year, 68 the year before that, 8th, 54. So not very good history here on the course. And at 7,800, we got to hit value. We can't have somebody finishing towards the bottom. You know, like we had Sam Ryder. Sam Ryder was below $6,500, which is fine at that point. But at 7,800, we're looking for something a little bit better. So I probably won't have much of Billy. Kim, I can't trust him. Tied 11, tied 55th. I think that's solid, but he missed a cut here last year. He missed a cut here 2 out of the last 4 times he's played in this tournament. 119th on the approach. I'm not going to have much of Kim. Joaquin Niemann, cut and cut. First appearance, we're going to see him. Really, I'll probably stay away from him for the most part just because I want to see what he can do after the break. So I won't have much of him. And then Mackenzie Hughes, same thing. Haven't seen him. Missed a cut here the last 2 years as well. So I'm not going to be on him. Griffin, 125 points. Tied for 3rd at the American Express. That is awesome. Finished here 7th last year. Not a bad GPP play if you guys want to go to it. I think he's a little high priced, but I'm all for it if you guys want to go Griffin. Luke List, I know from what I've seen, a lot of people are talking about. Tied 22nd here, 10th, 36th, 40th, and 12th the last 4 years. 26th on the approach, 7th around the green. That is not bad. I've seen a lot of people targeting him. So that kind of takes me away, but I think he's safe for cash. Cameron Tringale here, got cut the American Express, 18th, 49th the last 2 years. I don't think he's a bad GPP play. I think he'll draw ownership away because of the American Express cut line. But other than that, I'm not against it. Let's see. Oops. Then we're going to go to Francisco Molinari. Let's see. The American Express tied 6th. Wow, it's impressive. 10th last year as well. I think he might draw higher ownership than what people think. I mean, a 6th place finish at the last tournament he played in. And then on top of that, you know, he's had a good finish here last year. Sure, if it's low ownership, I'm for it. But other than that, no, probably not. I probably won't have too much. All right, Aaron Wise. Let's see. First since the appearance, let's see where he's at. How do I feel about him? Hasn't played here in a couple years and then missed the cuts before that. Aaron Wise is a fade. I do not like that. Let's see what Tom can do. Tom here, 2nd place in a cut line. So then I would look here and he's missed 2 out of the last 4 years. So I don't really see anything too impressive there. Jason Day, let's see, tied 49th at the American Express and then missed the cut line 16th, 5th, and 1st. So that is kind of intriguing. I will keep him in mind if I can't find a better play. Let's see, Noren cut at the American Express. Let's see, 37th here last year. I mean, he's fitting the course with my stats. He's 25th and 8, but let's see what else we can find here. We got Keith Mitchell. See, I like that a lot better. Now let's see what his history is. Keith Mitchell, 3 straight cuts. Man, that's not good. Yeah, maybe it's a course thing. He just doesn't do well on this course. Let's see what we can find. There's got to be something down here. 101 and 80 fantasy points. So I do like that for Brandt. And then 32nd, 3rd, 62nd, 45th, 9th. So boom. I like him bet a lot better than the other plays we just looked at. So so far he's probably my favorite play in the mid range that I'm seeing here. Mito 77th. Haven't seen him since the break. No history here. The course he's kind of off and on. Let's see, Jonathan Vegas. Let's see what you got, dude. Cut the American Express. What's his history here? He's missed 3 of the last 4 cuts, so that's going to be a no for me. And then Gary Woodland. Let's see, cut at the American Express. What's his history? 48th, and then missed the cut 9, 12, 20th. So that's not bad. 4 out of 5 years. I'd rather pay up for Brand at top. Cam Davis. See, he's got 8,633. So he's having a good start to 2021. 32nd, 36, 57, 58. So I like Cam Davis. I think Cam Davis is probably my favorite play in the mid to low 7K range. I think he's a solid play this weekend. And then Carlos Ortiz, you look here, got cut the American Express, and look down at his stats. He made the cut 29th last year, but then missed the 2 prior. So that's a GPP play if you guys want to bounce to that. Adam Hadwin, the American Express is just something he has a lot of success in. Finished 18th here last year though. So I mean, if you want to go to Hadwin, I think he is a safe option. I don't think he's going to excel in fantasy points, but I think he's a safe option to go to. And then Kevin Streelman, missed the cut the American Express, and then 4 out of 5 has made the cut line. 37, 45th, 29th, 67th, which aren't very high for me. Matt Jones, man, if you guys were in my Discord last year, you know how much we rode Matt Jones like crazy. Missed the cut, 3rd in the Century Tournament. Let's see what else he's been doing. 48th, 73rd, 13th, missed cut. Matt Jones is probably going to be a fade for me. I don't know. I'm not really feeling him. Haven't really felt him in a while. Dom in here. Let's see, missed a cut at Sony Open Century Tournament. I know he did pretty good. He had 100 fantasy points. And then as we're looking at him here, missed a cut last year, 2 out of 4 cut line. Not really high on him. Hudson Swafford. See what he's got. 144 as he won the American Express, and then 77 fantasy points at the Sony Open. So I do think Swafford could be a decent play as long as he has good history here. And he doesn't. He's played here twice the last 5 years and missed the cut line both times, but hasn't played here in a couple years, so it could be different. But I do not mess with people that finish first in recent tournaments, so Swafford is going to be a fade for me. Ricky Fowler, to me, never high on Ricky Fowler as of late. He is pretty cheap though. It's probably the cheapest I've seen him in a while, but got 53rd here, missed the cut 3 of 5 years. Ricky's just not for me. I don't really like him. Wyndham Clark here, 92, 89. His last 2 tournaments, finished 13th at the American Express, 32nd, missed cut 35th. So Wyndham Clark is a GPP option, but probably not somebody I'm going to be on. Patrick Rogers, typically I like if Rogers is under 7K, but here 40th and 57th, that's not bad. I think he's okay to make the cut line, but he has missed it 3 of the last 5 years. Like I said, Rogers is typically somebody I really only like if he's under 7K. And we'll look at Michael Thompson here. So he missed the cut and then hit the Sony at 5th. So mainly missed the cut 2 out of 4, didn't play here last year. Stats aren't looking too great for him. And then Cameron Champ, let's see, dude. Missed cut and 2 out of 3 missed cuts. So yeah, not feeling Champ. And Lee's out, Hoffman. Let's look at his Smiley here, Alex. 84th here at the American Express. I think that's pretty good. I mean, if that's a short value there, but no history at this course and his key stats are kind of low. I think that's, if you have to risk it, go for it. If not, don't worry about it. And then the American Express and Sony Open, Aaron, let's see. Aaron Rye. No history here. Stats are low. It looks like he just had a good tournament. And then Phil at 7K. See, missed the American Express, top 30 there. So we got Phil Mickelson, 53rd and 100th here the last 2 years. So I do not like Phil. Sebastian Munoz, he's always a first round bet leader, I feel like, for everyone that can do sports betting. I can't do it, it's illegal in my state. But let's see. 120, he got cut. So I'm usually a fade off him to begin with. Chaz Reavy, let's see, no history here, but 12 on the approach, but missed the American Express, so no. Doug Gim here. American Express 59th, not bad. Let's see, 37th, miscut, 20th, and his key stats actually look pretty good. So maybe Doug. I think that's a safe play. I wouldn't say safe, but I think that's safer than what's on the board right now on the lower range. The American Express, he's tied for third, 124 points. Okay, Lee Hodges. I like that. GPP, I bet you he draws a lot of low ownership as well. I wouldn't play cash with him. And now we'll look at the 6K. Typically in the 6K, the way I try to do this is just find someone that can make the cut line. If you're new to the way I approach this, I just try to find someone that can make the cut if I have to stoop that low. Typically when I am feeling somebody like I did last week with Sam Ryder, I will kind of expect more out of him. Now I didn't expect him to play as well he did at the beginning. But I typically just look for cut lines, look for people that had decent history here over the years. And then I'll examine their recent play. Like for instance, Joseph Brantley we'll look at 67. So you can, as I'll tell you, let's see what his recent play. See, boom, look at that. Look at the last two tournaments, 33rd, 20th, 85, 86 fantasy points. And then let me tell you his last 2 years here, 18th, which if he gets that, holy heck, right? I mean, that's tremendous. And then 45th. So Joseph Brantley, guys, I mean, he may be the value play for me. Let's see what else we got here. He may be the value play. I really like that a lot. Matthew Naismith, where's he at? He is at 6,600. So let's see where he's checking in here. A little bit below Bramlett, missed the cut, tied 29th his last 2 years here, 48th, 30th, and he's 13th on approach. So another not a bad GPP play if you have to go that low. And then let me see if I can find one more for you guys. If not, I don't like those stats. Yeah, it's really if you have to go this low, I try not to recommend it. But if you have to go all the way down here, let's see, he's at 6,100. I don't know if he has recent play here. Yeah, cut and cut. Yeah, I'd avoid that. All right, that's it. I'd probably go, you know who we wrote a lot last year that went underappreciated for us was Kevin Tway, but seems like we jumped off him on the right time. Remember we had him at the Houston Open, which was great. Other than that, guys, that's really going to be it for me. I hope this helps you guys. I will have my article out later, which will have a lot more information. I'll be more in depth with who I like and more like that. But that's going to be it for me, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, your favorite plays. Follow me on Twitter. Come join our Discord. Other than that, guys, that's going to be it for me. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Okay.